These are the 6 minimum performance standards all of our contact athletes must achieve. These will lay the foundation of strength, speed, power, endurance and athleticism, whether you're a rugby, American football or GAA athlete. You can completely forget about sport-specific training until you've checked off these 7 standards. Before we start, a lot of people will say chasing performance standards are a waste of time. Obviously, if you can't catch a ball, it doesn't matter how much you squat. But this doesn't mean performance standards are useless. On the contrary, they're a game changer. They give you clear goals to chase. They push you harder and they give you the accountability often lacking in programs. Hit these 7 standards and you'll be a different level of athlete. And in my opinion, the last one is the most overlooked. Standard 1, the back squat. I want all my male athletes squatting 1.6 times body weight and my female athletes squatting 1.15 times body weight. The squat is the gold standard of lower body strength, and studies have shown that athletes with a higher squat have lower injury rates, faster sprint and change of direction times, and higher power outputs. Yes, there's diminishing returns to a certain point, but if you haven't hit these standards, getting after them will be a complete game changer. Number 2, chin-ups. I want my male athletes hitting 0.3 times body weight for 1, and my female athletes, I want them to be able to do a bodyweight chin-up. Years ago, Joe DeFranco pointed out that chin-up strength correlates with sprint speed. And whilst this is obviously correlation, not causation, it goes to show that relative strength is a huge aspect of athleticism, and body fat percentage matters. That's why I love to include chin-ups and measure them. They keep you accountable. On top of that, contact athletes usually lack overhead mobility and strength, and chin-ups and pull-ups are a really easy, safe way to maintain that. Standard 3, maximal aerobic speed. I want my male athletes hitting 4.2 meters per second, and I want my female athletes hitting 3.9 meters per second. This is the boring one, so I'm putting it in the middle of the video. Maximal aerobic speed is the lowest speed where your VO2 max occurs. Basically, a measure of your aerobic fitness. If you follow me on Instagram, I go off about how important conditioning is for contact sports and how most athletes neglect it. Build a strong aerobic base and you'll outperform 90% of amateurs, because most people just skip this work. In the description, I'll attach a link on how you can test your maximal aerobic speed. Do it, don't neglect it, and you'll have a real edge on your competition. Number 4, everyone's favorite, bench. I want my guys hitting 1.2 times body weight and my girls hitting 0.7 times body weight. Now we're talking. On this list, bench might have the least impact on your performance, but despite what functional gurus tell you, bench is still the gold standard measure of raw push-in strength, and that matters. Number 5, broad jumps. I want my male athletes hitting 240 centimeters and my female athletes hitting 190. I love broad jumps for 2 reasons. Number 1, they're a simple and easy measure of raw power. All you need is a tape measure. Number 2, they demand massive eccentric control. You not only need to be able to produce that force, but also produce the eccentric force to absorb the landing. If you lack explosiveness, this is one of the first ones I'd aim for. Number 6, and the most important on this list, sprint speed. For my male athletes, I want them to cover 30 meters in 4.4 seconds, and females 4.8 seconds. No other exercise develops athleticism like sprinting. Best plyometric exercise, best power exercise, best hamstring exercise. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's still the most neglected. Athletes love chasing big squat and bench numbers, but if you chase maximal aerobic speed and sprint speed, you'll have a real edge over your competition. Those are my 6 standards. If you're not hitting these standards, you don't need one-to-one coaching. You need a good, solid, basic program. If that's you, I've got a free program in the description. It will get you stronger, fitter, and more athletic. I'm not even asking for an email address. But if you found this useful, a like and subscribe would mean a lot.